Hey everyone, it's Cooper with the Mountain Bike Co-op, and today we're going to walk through how do you remove and replace a tube on your bike tire. This is an essential skill for any cyclist and a great first step on your journey to becoming an at-home bike mechanic. Before we begin, there's a couple things that you need to complete this task. First is a couple tire levers. This is going to help you have some leverage and actually pull the bead off from the rim. Second is a bike pump. You can use a floor pump like I have here, or you can use a hand pump if you have one. And then finally, you're gonna want a tube. And when getting a new tube, there's something that you should actually pay attention to. You can't just go grab one off the shelf. You actually have to find one that fits the diameter and width of your tire. The first thing though you should decide is the valve stem type you want. Traditionally, you'll see a Presta or a Schrader valve. In my case, I have a Presta valve tube. Second, you want to make sure that the tube fits the outer diameter and width of your tire. You can check your tire sidewall and the number that indicates your tire size. In my case, I have a 700C tire and a 40 millimeter width. So that's why I went with this tube that's 700 by 35 to 45. So that's right in between the width of my tire. So now that we have the correct size tube, we're going to remove the wheel from the bike and deflate the tube completely by pressing the valve stem. Make sure there's no air left inside. Next, we're going to insert one tire lever near the valve stem between the tire and rim. You're going to use this lever to try and pry the tire off the rim. Repeat this process with the second tire lever a few inches away. Now slide that second tire lever around the rim all the way until you get the bead of the tire off the rim. If you're not fully changing your tire, make sure you leave the other half of the bead on. This is going to save you a lot of time in the long run, as you only have to put half the bead back on. Carefully pull out the old tube from the tire and make sure you don't damage it further. You can inspect the tube for any punctures or holes, and if you find any, you can use a patch kit, which is basically a band-aid, to repair that. In our case, we're going to take a new tube and inflate it slightly and just enough to give it some shape. This is going to prevent you from getting it pinched when we install it back on the rim. Starting at the valve stem, insert the tube back into the tire. Make sure the tube is evenly placed within the tire and not twisted at all. You can almost tuck the tube up in the tire. Now by hand, start fitting the tire back onto the rim. You may get some resistance as the bead starts to get smaller and smaller, and a good place to start is at the valve stem, where you can work your way around the rim. If the tire becomes too tight to fit back onto the rim, you can use tire levers, but be cautious not to pinch the tube. Apply it leverage evenly and carefully until the tire is fully seated. Finally, inflate the tire gradually and check the bead on the tire and make sure it's properly seated on the rim. The bead is a little line that goes all the way around on the rubber part of your tire. And there you have it. Don't forget, practice makes perfect on this, so don't get discouraged if it doesn't work out right away. Some tires are harder to get on with the beads than others. This one was pretty easy. So if you do have a, let's say, nicer tire, it may be a little bit more difficult. But all in all, I hope this video was helpful. Hopefully it helps you get out and ride a little bit more and not have a flat tire. With that being said, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.